Hey, everybody. Welcome to our Friday Review podcast. This is our final weekday show of the Cabral concept, but we are also, just keep in mind, always coming to you each and every day. And on the weekends, we answer our community's questions. So a dozen questions get answered every Saturday and Sunday on all sorts of different topics. Definitely make sure you tune into those shows, but also keep in mind that every single topic is searchable. So with 2,380 shows, we pretty much covered it all. You can head on over to stephencabral.com/podcast, type in your topic, your search words such as rheumatoid or Hashimoto's or sarcoidosis or Barrett's or eczema, psoriasis, migraines, allergies, insomnia, nighttime urination, like literally you name it, we have a podcast on it. Now, the show will never stop because advances and knowledge and similarities and, unities that we create between all different integrative health-based practices will never stop. So it's my job to continue to bring you the very best research out there and what really works. Because again, I'm not a, internet-based doctor or whatever you might want to call it. We're out there practicing every single day, right? So we see a couple thousand people per month all around the world inside of our practice. We've run hundreds and hundreds of thousands of labs. That has to be getting close to 1 million labs. And we have so much data. And so I'd love to be able to share that with you. And on our Friday shows are, in my opinion, it's a fun show. I like to be able to. It's the only one of the week where we talk about a whole lot of different things. So always go through major research studies that are in the news that I think are important for you. This one's super important today because my herb of the week. So in 2022, I'm giving you an herb of the week, just like I did 2 years ago for all the different vitamins and minerals. So anytime you want to learn more about a vitamin or mineral, electrolyte, you want to learn about an herb, I have all of these, again, already at stephencabral.com/podcast. So trying to make it a resource center. But today, I have 2 research studies on cardiovascular. Why cardiovascular? Again, I pick topics that I think you should know about, like for you or your parents or grandparents. And the reason is that 1 out of 2 men essentially will die from cardiovascular disease and 1 out of 3 women. So we might as well learn as much as we can about cardiovascular disease and what we can do to mitigate it, and plus medical advancements that are coming out right now. So I'd love to bring you those as well. So again, the best of everything. We'll get to our herb of the week. I have a book re-review that I think is super important. And this was based on, again, listener-based feedback. So I'll bring you that. But we always start, of course, with our updates from the week. We are now in the week of, second week, basically, of August. So for me, again, winding down, it's funny because, my girls are starting school a little bit earlier this year. And for my wife and I, it's definitely, mixed emotions because although we enjoy, getting out maybe a little bit earlier for the summer, missing the last 2-3 weeks of summer in Maine, which we love to do, is not exactly our favorite thing. It is a sacrifice, but if you listened in really on last Monday's show, this Monday, which was 2376, I'll talk about that. Really important to understand is that once you have your priorities set, you understand that it's they're easy decisions to make, and the decision's already done for you. So I talked about kind of my move from Boston. I talked about, giving up my Boston-based office. And sure, like there can be some mixed emotions and even a little bit of sadness with that. But when you get really clear on what's important to you in this phase of your life, or some people call it season, right? I've talked about that before. The decision's already made. Like there's no regrets. This is what it is. We're committed to doing the best for our 2 daughters, and again, hindsight's always 20/20, as you say. So maybe we'll feel differently in 5 years from now. But I always take solace in the fact that I'm doing my best. It's the best decision we can make right now with the current knowledge we have. And that's all we can do in life. And so I'm excited. Again, like I said, I'm excited for starting a new chapter. I'll share more about that, no doubt about it, in the future. It's just like many, many people in the world. Sometimes you're in a state of flux, right? It's just movement. Like you're not there yet, but you're also not here where you were. You're in this middle ether-based space. And so I'm just trying to enjoy the journey. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. But again, I wish you the best. If it is you still enjoying your summer weeks, then, get the most out of it. Enjoy it. We've got our next season coming up. For a lot of people, it's kids back to school. Maybe you're going back to school. Work kind of takes it up a notch for me starting in September. That's when I start to travel more. And I always have mixed feelings about that too. I love to travel because I love to meet with people. I love to speak. I love I love getting out there with people. I really do. So it's funny because I work alone all day long, or like literally all day long for, well, a good 9-10 hours. But on the same, the same hand, right? Just a different side. I love speaking to people one-on-one, like I've always done my entire life. That's literally been my practice since I was 22. But I love speaking in front of crowds of hundreds or thousands of people. And so that's that as well. So anyway, it's funny. That's why I don't think that people should ever kind of fit you into one box. You can be many things to many people. I try to share that with my daughters all at the same time. Like, you don't need to choose one thing. Like, yeah, you want to double down on what it is that you love the most, but don't ever think that you can't do everything that you really want to in life and do it your way. Again, you have to do it in the service of others, but certainly you can find your own way. All right. My personal updates are so for the week right there. Thank you always allowing me to share where I'm at as kind of, I guess, this living diary every single Friday, just giving you a little bit of update. Over at Equal Life, which is our virtual and global functional medicine practice, we are giving away a free jar of CBD pain relief cream on all qualifying orders right now. That's absolutely one of the favorite products that people stock up on. And the reason is that it really works. It uses 2 of the Ayurvedic ingredients that I used when I was overseas doing multiple internships in India. A lot of internships over there, probably 6, to be honest with you, in Kerala and Mysore and where else? Delhi, Bangladesh. And I apologize if that's mispronounced as well. Where else? Foothills of the Himalayas, right near Dehradun, in Sri Lanka, which of course is not India, but right off the tip of India and off of all my cities are kind of escaping my mind. I've got to go back to my map and just remember all the different spots. Trivandrum was another one. Yeah. So absolutely amazing. But, what matters is obviously getting people results. So we used a product called Camphor. And it also, of course, had menthol in it. So many people know menthol because it kind of gives that tingling feeling, right? Well, that's nice because it is bringing blood flow to the area. But camphor is amazing for pain. I mean, really, really amazing. So I have to give you my disclaimer now because pain, believe it or not, is an FDA-based word. So where I cannot provide you with any medical-based treatment plans, medical diagnosis, medical cures, and medical-based advice. But this product works. It's guaranteed to work. Obviously, we guarantee all of our products, and this one, no doubt, because we actually mix cannabinoids in with the camphor and menthol. That is the best pain relief product out there. There's no doubt about it. And of course, we guarantee it. But you can get a free bottle right now by heading on over to stevencabral.com/shop while supplies last this week. And it's on all qualifying orders. And of course, CBD can only be shipped to the domestic U.S. and the states that actually allow it. That's not our laws. We have nothing to do with that. It is the government's law. All right. Recap for the week on the podcast. Definitely check out Monday's show. That was a fun one. It was all about, how to up-level your life for greater success, how to break through mediocrity. Don't stick with the status quo. So definitely check out that show and why it's not selfish to up-level your life. Tuesday's show is this type of fasting boosts the immune system. 100%. Check out that show because at some point or another, everybody gets sick. So check out what type of fasting boosts the immune system. Is the dopamine diet right for you? If you're looking to boost mood, improve clarity and focus, reduce brain fog, you'll definitely want to check out that show. Like, no doubt about it, because it's simple, it's easy, it's straightforward, and I give you all the tips on what to do. And then yesterday's show is the 7 signs of damaged hair and how to repair it. So check that out. Those are all at stevencabral.com/podcasts. All right, our herb of the week is called the herb of longevity. Sounds good. We've got a book that I'm going to review right after this on longevity. We might as well talk about an herb that's called the herb of longevity in Ayurvedic medicine, but also traditional Chinese medicine and Indonesian native medicine. So the medicines and herbs that have always been used there. So this is an extremely popular herb. It has been used now for thousands of years. Remember, people would not use things that do not work. You have to understand that. So long before conventional medicine came along, long before the science, and I'm doing that in air quotes for anybody not watching on video, came along, it didn't mean that the herb didn't work, right? It still worked. It always has worked. And that's why people use it. Well, now there's a plethora of studies on the herb of longevity, which is called Gotu Kola. And it's most significantly studied for these particular instances. But I want to give the overarching theme around it and then share with you why it works so well. Okay, so the overarching theme around Gotu Kola, again, this was a super popular herb we used in Ayurvedic clinics. Actually, another clinic I was at was in Barawala. So again, I've been all over India working all over, excuse me, I'm all choked up. All over India, working in these internships, I really fell in love with Ayurvedic medicine. And my goal, again, was just to follow in my mentor's footsteps and take things as far as I could. And that was to blend it with state-of-the-art at-home lab testing and then use the foundation of Ayurvedic medicine, which, by the way, all medicine is based off of, and it's just kind of then just branches like a tree in different directions. Okay, but enough about that. So Gotu Kola works by basically promoting better circulation. Okay, so what I try to do on, again, the Cabral concept is teach foundational-based principles and foundational thinking. It changed my life when I learned about first principles or foundational-based principles. In the future, I plan on just essentially teaching foundational-based principles. I think it's, or first principles. I think it's the most important thing to understand because then you can figure it out for yourself. I mean, you really can. Okay, so if an herb improves overall circulation, what could it help with? Well, where's the blood go, right? Well, if the blood is needed for blood pressure, could improve that. If blood is needed towards the brain, well, could improve that. It needs better blood flow to the brain. Well, Alzheimer's, right? That's important. Overall dementia, that's important. Cognitive decline, okay, can help with that as well. That's important. Well, what about cardiovascular disease? Okay, it can help with that as well. It improves circulation. What about mood? Yes, you need improved circulation, believe it or not, for mood to move these neurochemicals from either the gut or overall in the blood to the brain itself. So it can help with that. It's actually been shown to help with depression. Another thing, what would circulation help with in terms of wound healing? Well, I just said it. It would help with wound healing. It would help with scars. It would help with stretch marks. So we have to understand there's a reason why this is called the herb of longevity. And the reason is that it helps with all of the factors that lead to early death, which would be the opposite of longevity, right? So cardiovascular, blood pressure, brain-based imbalances, that's going to just encompass, let's even say, Parkinson's with a brain and nervous system, with dementia, Alzheimer's, etc. So the other thing that it has been actually found to help with is overall inflammation and pain. And again, I'm not giving you any medical advice or medical treatment plans, but these are all scientifically validated again. So I'm happy to link up some studies, and I always do. But what I want you to do is this. So now that you know the basis for this, Gotu Kola improves overall circulation. Again, amazing herb, all sorts of great science behind it. So again, don't let anybody ever tell you that there's no science with natural health. There's obviously, it's a mountain of data, right? It just means that whoever told you that just didn't take the time to research it. That's all. But you do it for yourself. You just literally go right over to Google and you just type in Gotu Kola and blood pressure, Gotu Kola and Alzheimer's, Gotu Kola and stretch marks. And you'll actually see the science, and you'll look for one little thing to look for is NCBI. That will often pop up at the very beginning of like the URL search, or NLM, right? Or NIH. And so what you're looking for is National Library of Medicine. You're looking for National Institute of Health, but these are all PubMed, right? So these are all independently researched studies, and you can check them all out. So what I'm going to give you today is called Cardiovascular Protective Effects, essentially of Gotu Kola. And again, it's as people say, it's plant toxins, right? Well, all these plant toxins are actually leading to people living longer. And these are the not the exact terpenes, but the triterpenes, which are part of what Gotu Kola is. So again, just be careful, as I always say, with the people that have a really biased interest in getting you to believe one thing, like one diet plan, one supplement, one whatever. Again, it's using an integrative approach that's for the best of people. All right, so that's our herb of the week. We use it in a product called daily cardio support, because obviously it's great for the heart. You can use it on its own. You can use it as a tea. You can actually grind it up. You can eat it. I don't recommend that. It's not the best flavor. It's very bitter, but not bad. Yeah, that's that. So daily cardio support and others, you will see it in there for the herb of longevity. All right, book review of the day. I actually looked this book up because I knew I reviewed it in the past. I remember the books that I typically review for you. So just to let you know, in the Cabral concept on Fridays, I often review a book or I review a product. I just alternate between the two. So I've reviewed hundreds and hundreds of books on the Cabral concept over the past 6-7 years. And most of those are for like general knowledge, general public. I like to be able to get books out there that I think are approachable by everybody, and I think that are a good read. If you want more in-depth gut healing, brain healing, the science-based books, I give all of those inside of IHP, right? So it's integrativehealthpractitioner.org. Integrativehealthpractitioner.org. That's where we go more in depth. So if people want to get more in depth, great that we have that for you. We probably have like 50 to 100 book recommendations in that easily. All right. But today's book is actually a re-review. And I mentioned that before because And I think it's, again, like I read all the comments. I really do. I listen to our community. This podcast is dedicated to you. It honestly is. Because I want to teach what people want to hear. Like that's it. No, I shouldn't say that. I don't want to teach what people want to hear. I want to teach what people need to know. And so when I get good questions, because I'm not afraid to be controversial. Like I'm not afraid to tell you that the carnivore diet is not a natural human diet. Like I'm not afraid to tell you that. But I'm also not saying that meat's bad for you. Again, I take an unbiased perspective. But that doesn't mean that if some meat is okay, a lot of meat is good or it's the only thing that you should eat. Of course, it's not. But what I want to share with you is this. Someone asked, like, how can we simplify how to live longer without having to do all the different biohacking? And I like the question. I thought it was fair. I teach biohacking, all the different methodologies and like using sauna and breath work. Like I teach all of that and I love it. And it does work, by the way. That's all science-based as well. But it might not be the first place for people to start. So I want to take a passage from this book, okay? The book is called I've Decided to Live to 120 Years, The Ancient Secret to Longevity, Vitality, and Life Transformation by Ilchi Li. Okay, so let me just give you 2 pages out of this. As a Tao master, one of the most important things I teach people in our lives fundamentally, not our own. We have received life from nature. No one knows when that life will leave us. What I choose, living to be 120, is impossible without the blessings of nature. A year from now, even tomorrow, could be my last day. So do your best and then wait for the will of heaven is an old Korean saying that this writer writes. So what they share, though, is developing healthy habits as well as moving the body, as well as thinking positively. So this book is about those things. Simple, healthy habits, moving the body, but it has a huge emphasis on creating happiness in your life. But let me just give you some simple, because you may never read the book, and that's okay if you never do. Let me give you just a simple excerpt. This starts on page 29. One of the major factors for determining longevity, food is definitely important. The food you consume becomes your body. The results of a University of London study of 65,000 people indicated that people who ate 7 portions of fruits and vegetables a day had a premature death rate that was 42% lower than those who ate less than 1 portion a day. Those who ate 5 to 6 portions a day had a premature death rate that was 36% lower. Meaning he's just showing you like a little bit, hey, you're still improving by over a third. Or you could look at it another way by essentially 300% if you want to look the other way, but almost half if you just eat, again, what we chat about all the time, because it's based on science, 7 portions of fruits and vegetables a day. And it's not that difficult. It's basically 2 at breakfast, 2 at lunch, 2 at dinner. Like it's just that. But you can even just do 3 cups of veggies at lunch, 3 at dinner. I'm not going to go break it all down today, but I just want to share that with you. Okay, so another study, eat until you're 80% full. I have a podcast on that. Another one on the blue zones, all the different lessons there. People live routinely to 100 years old. Another one he talks about, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services on subjects age 40 and above, doing 150 minutes of moderate exercise or 75 minutes of high-intensity exercise every week had a life extension by 3.4 years. Doing twice that amount had an extension of 4.2 years, and even those who exercised only half the recommended amount lengthened their lives by 1.8 years. So basically, you can live 2 to 4 years more. Like you can go from 77 years old to 81 years old, or 80 years old to 84 years old, just by doing what would equate to 30 minutes of exercise 5 days a week, which is exactly what I talk about, right? Take off Wednesdays and Sundays if you want, or again, you could do 40 minutes 4 days a week. It works, right? Okay, so another one based on mindset, attitudes towards life, personal relationships. According to the Yale School of Public Health, those who have a positive perspective on aging tend to live about 7.5 years longer than those with a negative perspective. Really easy, easygoing, carefree, all of those different things. I know it's not easy to do, but again, maybe you don't add 7.5, but maybe you add 5 years, right? All of these things matter. All right, another one, this is 143 studies in which 300,000 people participated. People with strong social connections live an extra 7.5 years longer than those that feel isolated. Breaking habits that are bad for the body is essential for life extension. Life extended 6 to 8 years for a woman who quit smoking at age 35. And if she quits at the age of 50, the likelihood that she will die over the next 15 years is cut in half compared to someone who continues to smoke. So again, we talk about quitting smoking, one of the number one things that you can do, and that includes basically inhaling all smoke into your lungs. I could go on, but this is a book on simplicity of living longer. So this is not a hard book on biohacking, but if you're interested in like where to start first with simplicity of living longer, easy book to read, a super easy book to read. It's called I've Decided to Live 120 Years. There you go. All right, so hopefully that serves you well. And now our 2 research studies of the week. I love these research studies because, again, you know I love the ancient knowledge, but I also never dismiss all of the great medical advancements. So this one just came out a month ago out of the University of Houston. Researchers are reporting new technology that not only repairs heart muscle cells in mice, but also regenerates them following a heart attack or myocardial infarction, as it's medically known. Myocardial infarction is just a heart attack. So if you ever hear that, again, it's just people trying to sound really smart. So we say, oh, the person had a myocardial infarction or a myocardial event. Event is it's also referred to as well. Anyway, heart attack. So I know obviously there's varying degrees of heart attacks. This was published in the Journal of Cardiovascular Aging. I will link all of these up today, the book, all the research at stephencabral.com/2380 is today's show. All right, so just a little bit more in this study, and then I have one more for you. So this is actually, a new technology developed by the team of researchers uses synthetic messenger it's RNA, so messenger RNA, to deliver mutated transcription factors, proteins that control the conversion of DNA into RNA to mouse hearts. So essentially what they did is they're reprogramming the messenger RNA, which tells the DNA essentially what to do. And what they're able to do is they're able to tell the body to start growing and regenerating new heart muscle. I mean, that's pretty phenomenal. It really is. Because why did I choose this study here for today? Here's the reason why. 1 out of 2 men will die from cardiovascular disease. 1 out of 3 women will die from cardiovascular disease. It's the number 1 cause of mortality in the world. If you don't have anything go wrong with your heart, well, then you could live quite a bit longer, right? Because it's the number 1 thing. So what we have to do is we have to make sure we're caring for our hearts, which is why that exercise is so important. Because what does it do? Well, it actually works your heart, right? It creates fitness for your heart. All right, that's really important to look at that. Now, though, let's check out some really wild technology which is coming in the future. So again, take care of your heart. That's the bottom line. Check out this next one, though. This was published out of the Harvard John A. Paulson School of Engineering and Applied Sciences. You might say, that's kind of strange. It's from an engineering school. Well, here it is. We have, I'm not a part of this. Bioengineers have developed the first biohybrid model of human ventricles with helically aligned beating cardiac cells and have shown that muscle alignment does in fact dramatically increase how much blood the ventricle can pump with each contraction. Again, I'm going to link this up, so if you want to go deep into this, you're welcome to. So what are they doing? Well, kind of like Iron Man, they're actually creating a true bio, so it's part actual flesh, hybrid, part technology heart for humans. So again, if your heart, which at some point is going to wear out, right? I mean, that's just the way that it is. Our bodies wear out. We've seen that. So what we need to do is, again, check out my previous studies on, especially the one on boosting your immune system. You can actually regenerate stem cells, but it's just your body becomes more and more catabolic after the age of 60, which means it starts breaking down more muscle tissue. That includes hair, skin, nails, joints. It starts deteriorating. And that's the thing. And so we have to then be able to say, okay, after 60, how do we move to a little bit more of an anabolic-based state? Oh, and so we don't get all of this wear down and repair. And check out my book, The Rain Barrel Effect, where I talk about the chicken heart study. Absolutely amazing. Definitely check that out. That's one of my favorite parts in that book. So here's the thing, though. Eventually it wears out. Well, again, what if this heart is available in 20 years from now? Well, now you can actually replace your heart, not with another human heart that might be from an organ donor, but actually a new heart that could even work better than a human heart, as long as it's not rejected by the body, because it is just set to go and not deteriorate and break down. Again, I'm not saying that anyone should run out and do any of these things, but what I'm saying is it is the future. It's one of the ways that we're going to be able to keep humans alive longer. My goal, though, is to also make sure it's a good quality of life. Because if you're not able to live the life that you want, well, does it really matter then if you get to 120 years? To me, I would have to say no. But if I can live a healthy, strong, vibrant life with purpose to 120, yeah, sign me up. I want that, right? So I'm going to keep bringing these things to you. Super interesting. I'm going to link up the research for you at stephencabral.com/2380. That is it for today's show. I'll be back this weekend answering our Community's House calls. Take care, everybody.